Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's yoga class is all about building quiet self-assurance on the mat and then taking that confidence and translating it, carrying it through to your everyday life. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify if you need to, and feel comfortable to ease your way into child pose and just take a little chill out should you need it. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class coming into a 4-point kneeling frame on your mat. Make your way down onto the knees and the hands. Check that your hands are stacking underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. You're going to begin for me by checking that you're not collapsing into the mat. So I want you to push through your palms, draw the energy up through the palms, and then lengthen through your spine. Keep your gaze down on the mat between the two thumbs and your neck and spine nice and long. You're going to extend the left leg and the right arm, and you're going to hold for me, lengthening through your fingertips and your toes, trying to give me a long line through the arm, the neck, the back, and the leg. Draw back to your 4-point kneeling frame and gently repeat on the other side, looking for that beautiful length through the body, trying to tap the wall in front of you and the wall behind you. Keep your belly button softly pulled into center and think of that beautiful long line. Ease your way back to 4-point kneeling. We're going to thread the needle dynamically. Take a big breath in and float your right arm up to the ceiling, reaching for the sky. On an exhale, thread underneath your left armpit, coming to rest on your right temple. Pause here for a second or two, and then flow through dynamically. Big breath in. Exhale as you thread through. Big breath in. Thread through. Ease your way back to 4-point kneeling and take it to the other side. Big breath in. Exhale to thread through. Big breath in. Thread through. Big breath in. Exhale to thread through. Ease your way back to your 4-point kneeling thread and rotate or flip to the right. Bending the right leg, extending the left, placing the top hand on your hip. You're going to raise that leg up about hip height and tap back out to the mat. Keeping that leg long and lengthened. Don't collapse through your bottom arm, so push away through that arm. Keep the rib cage nice and high. Keep your core engaged. Last one. You're going to stop at about hip height. You're going to draw the leg into the center line and back to your start position. Draw the leg in and back to your start position. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Extend the leg, ground it into the mat. Maybe give me a nice parallel line. And then the knee that's bent, you're going to feed that leg behind your lead leg, tucking it behind and then drawing the knee in towards your chest, trying to keep strong on the bottom arm. Exhaling as you draw the leg in, inhaling as you extend. Let's do 1 more. As you draw the leg in, relax the leg to the floor. We're coming into an elbow side plank. Check that you don't have the arm too far away from you. Try to stack underneath your armpit. Don't collapse into the mat. So rib cage up nice and high. Core is braced. Heels lined up with an extension of your back line and the knees together. You're going to gently place the hand on your top hip. You're going to lift the bottom hip up off the floor. And as you do so, open the knees in a clam line. Close and down. Open, lift, close and down. Open, lift, close and down. Keep the breath flowing. You're going to give me 2 more. As you complete the last one, you're going to lift the top leg up. You're going to press your top hand on that knee and you're going to hold for 10, pushing up with the knee and pushing down with the hand. 5, 4, 3, 2. You're gently going to ease your way into a soft thunderbolt, knees together, feet together, sitting back, or give me a high kneeling frame if you prefer. You're going to float the hands behind you into a fisted line. Draw the 2 shoulder blades together. Think of trying to tap the wall behind you with your knuckles. So lengthen through the knuckles, expand laterally through the chest, Then unbind the hands from behind your back and start opening up the knees. Wiggle or slide the feet out from underneath you, opening up the knees as wide as you can, and think of trying to wrap the soles of your feet around your bum. We're coming into a tadpole. You're going to reach with your hands for your shins. You're going to pull your shins up towards the ceiling while you drop your pelvis and your bum bones heavy to the mat. So you're sinking down through the pelvis and you're pulling up through the shins. Keep your spine nice and lengthened. Keep your belly button pulled into center. Ease your way from here back into your 4-point kneeling frame. Check that your hands are stacking underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Exhale to round up. Inhale to come through neutral spine. Just give me 5 cat-cows, releasing through the spine. And give me a 1-to-1 on the inhalation to exhalation ratio today, just using it to release the back. Then end in a neutral tabletop line, somewhere between your cat and your cow. Take a big breath in, extend the left leg and the right arm, hold for maybe 10 soft counts, trying to tap the wall in front of you and the wall behind you, lengthening through the spine. Ease your way back to your tabletop line and repeat on the other side. Keep your gaze down on the mat, just to the side of that thumb, so that your neck remains in a neutral spine. Ease your way back to neutral. Big breath in, float the left arm up to the ceiling. We're going to thread the needle. Exhale to tuck under. And then flow through dynamically using your breath. Exhaling every time you tuck under, pausing for a beat or two before inhaling, filling your lungs to capacity, and then tucking back through. Ease your way back to 4-point kneeling to repeat on the other side. Big breath in, on an exhale, thread through. Find a steady rhythm of your own. Make sure that you're keeping your hips softly stacked over the knees as you thread through, so don't lean aggressively into the floor. Ease your way back to your 4-point kneeling frame. We're going to find that lifted gate on the other side. Bend the left leg, extend the right, place the hand on your hip. You're going to toe tap out. Coming about hip height and then tapping back out on the mat, making sure that you're keeping the rib cage up nice and high, core braced. You're going to end at table height. Think of floating the knee towards the nose, keeping the leg in a long line, and keeping the toes softly pointed. Let's do 2 more. Strong through that bottom arm. Ground the top leg into the mat. Try to ground the whole foot. So big toe, baby toe, and heel grounded. And then tuck the bottom leg behind it. Then thread the knees through, trying to tuck the knee in towards the nose, and then coming back to your long extended line. Let's do 2 more. And then we'll ease our way into an elbow plank from here. Nice and high on the mat. Don't collapse into the mat. Line up your heels with an extension of your back line. You're going to diamond open your legs into a little clan as you lift the bottom hip off the floor, and then bring it down gently with control. So no thunking of your hip into the mat as you come back down. Last one. Bring the top leg up so the legs are more or less parallel. You're going to push with your palm against the knee and resist. Holding for 10 soft counts. And then from here, you're going to find your way back into a kneeling frame. Thunderbolt, knees together, feet together, interlacing the hands behind your back, or maybe opting for a high kneeling frame if sitting back in Thunderbolt is too strenuous for you today. Just listen to your body and play where you're comfortable. Then gently unbind the hands, begin opening up the knees. Think child. And then wiggle or slide your bum off the feet, thinking of wrapping the sole of the feet around your bum. Reach for the shins. Pull the shins up towards the ceiling and drop through your bum bones. So you're pulling down through the pelvis and up at the same time. Ease your way from here back into 4-point kneeling and give me 5 cat-cows. Exhaling to round out. Inhale to come through neutral spine, taking your chin and your bum bones to the ceiling, keeping control of your abs the whole time as you oscillate dynamically between the cat and the cow. Then keeping your legs soft and relaxed in a parallel line, you're going to push back into an extended child, keeping the arms long and lengthened in front of you. Walk back through the hands and sink the weight of your bottom towards your heels. Then come through a controlled 4-point kneel frame and drop your hips gently towards the floor. Strong through the shoulders, strong through the core, giving me a kneeling up dog. Don't collapse your frame. So push the mat away, lengthen through your spine. Stay here, gently resting on the knees, or float up into an up dog, bringing your knees off the floor, resting on your palms and the heels, on the bridges of your feet. Then try to challenge yourself by morphing into a down dog, but keep the weight on the front of your toes as you pike the bum up to the ceiling. Maybe pausing for a breath or two before you tuck the feet under, maybe walking the feet in slightly, trying to ground the whole foot. You're going to hold your down dog frame, or you're going to play, taking a big breath in and threading the right arm to the outside of the left ankle, palm facing away from you, almost threading the needle and looking underneath your armpit towards the ceiling. Come back to your start position and repeat on the other side, threading through. So opposite hand to leg, palm facing away from you. Ease your way back to your down dog frame and think knee to nose and hold your knee to nose plank, tucking in as tight as you can, almost rounding out through the spine as you did in your cat. Hold, hold. Then relax to the mat. Give me a long lifted gait line, strong through the bottom ribs, core engaged. You're going to bring that leg up to about a tabletop line and you're going to begin tracing a big circular pattern. Don't rush through the trace. Give me 5 big circular traces in one direction, inhaling for half of your circle circumference and then exhaling for the other half. Once you've completed 5 in one direction, change it up. And make that circle quite big. Maybe use the circumference of a large basketball or maybe a Swiss ball as your guideline. Last one. You're going to ease your way from here back into child pose. This time, big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Take a little stretch and extended child, and then think of gently wrapping the arms alongside the body. Back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking up to the ceiling. Either staying here in your child. If you've got any neck issues, stay here, please. Alternatively, you can try to come into hare pose, Shashanka, by thinking of rocking the weight off your forehead onto the crown of the head, coming up almost into a soft kneeling frame with the hips softly stacking over the knees. You can either stay here or elect to come into a quarter headstand. For the quarter headstand, bend the elbows, place the palms, fingertips towards your head, halfway between the head and the knees. Then tuck your toes under. Think of gently piking your bum up to the ceiling and then walking your feet closer towards your headline, bending through the knees and find a resting spot on the tricep for your knees. And bringing the big toes together behind your back, almost coming into a floating crow-like child on the tricep. Wherever you were, you're going to ease your way gently back into child pose. Just take a little time out. Arms long and lengthened at your side. Forehead gently connected to the mat. You could always put a block underneath your forehead if you're struggling to get the forehead to connect to your mat. Ease your way from here back into a tabletop line. Open up those feet into parallel behind you. Take a big push back into a relaxed child. Feet stay in parallel, arms long and lengthened, framing your ears on either side. Push back through the hands, almost clawing the mat away and trying to sink your bum as far back towards the back edge of your mat as you can comfortably manage. Then ease your way through a kneeling frame. Drop your hips gently towards the floor, strung through the core, strung through the shoulders. Hold, or start floating your knees up off the mat, long and lengthen. Push the mat away, strong through the core. I want you to feel that lower belly work. Then ease your way into a down dog frame, trying to pike your bum up to the ceiling while keeping the weight on the front of your toes for a couple of seconds before you tuck the feet under, grounding through as much of the foot as you can. Take a big breath in, thread through, opposite hand to ankle, almost tucking underneath that armpit to maybe look up towards the ceiling and holding that little twisted down dog frame. Ease your way back into your down dog and repeat on the other side, threading through. Ease your way back to down dog and then think knee to nose plank on the left and hold. Really draw that knee in, almost rounding out through the shoulders as if you were coming into a cat stretch and pushing the mat strongly away. You're going to find your way from here into the lifted gate on the left. So my back will be towards you on this one. Make sure that you're not collapsing your frame, so you're lengthening as you find your frame, maybe bracing that top hand on your hip. Bring the leg up in line with your hip and start tracing a big circular pattern. If you feel like playing, you could even float the top arm up to the ceiling. Long and lengthened. And then change it up. Tracing 5 big circular traces in each direction. Inhaling for half of your circle circumference and then exhaling for the other half. Once you've traced 5, you're going to find your way into child pose. Big toes together, knees open, nice and wide. Take a little extended stretch here. And then when you're ready, gently swim the arms alongside the body, back of the hands looking up to the ceiling. Stay here or morph into hair pose by thinking of gently rocking the weight off your forehead onto the crown of your head, coming into a somewhat 4-point kneeling frame, or rather 2-point kneeling frame. And then maybe morphing into your quarter headstand, if you feel up to it today, tucking your toes under, floating your bum up to the ceiling, creeping in a little bit closer, maybe bending through the knees, finding a resting spot on the tricep, and maybe trying to chill here for maybe 5 to 10 gentle breath cycles. Wherever you decide to play, settle in and just hold. If you were in the quarter headstand, ease your way back down into a relaxed child, arms at your side, palms up to the ceiling. Just give yourself a moment or two here to allow your blood pressure to return to normal. And then ease your way from here into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Open up your feet once more. Take a big breath in, exhale to push back, thinking bump to the end of the mat. Inhale, come through your tabletop and bump into a kneeling up dog, strong through the shoulders, strong through the core. Float your knees up off the floor, coming into a modified up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Keep on the front of your toes as you pike the bum up to the ceiling, coming into your down dog frame. Then tuck the feet under. Take a big breath in, thread through. Opposite hand, and every time you thread through, try and reach around. Maybe you could even grab hold of that ankle and really tuck your head underneath the armpit. Come back to your start position and thread through on the other side, maybe wrapping right around the ankle as you try to tuck underneath that armpit. Ease your way from here back into your down dog frame. Kick up the right leg behind you into 3-legged dog. Then think knee to nose and kick back up, giving me 5 oscillating movements, playing between the 3-legged dog and the knee up plank. Last one. Swing through Bringing that foot all the way into the inside of the right hand. If you find that your leg gets stuck on the mat, don't stress about it. Just reach for the leg, corral that sucker, creep it forward, line up your knee over your ankle, relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Peel up gently along the center line and check that you've got knee over ankle on the lead leg. Float the hands behind you, trying to interlace and make a fist behind your back. Try not to lean aggressively forward. Pretend that you're a marionette and somebody's tugging the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Almost give me a little tilt of the pubic bone to the 12 o'clock position so that you can feel a little stretch on the inside of the back hip bone. Then exhale, extend the front leg, almost rounding out in a soft cat frame as if you wanted to tap your nose to your knee, trying to keep the hands interlaced behind your back. If you find that this is too much for you, you can keep your fingertips on the mat as you oscillate dynamically between the two. Ease your way back to your start frame. Float your crown up to the ceiling, tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position, and reach with your knuckles for the wall behind you. Big inhale to prepare. On the exhale, round out into your little monkey god stretch, Ardha Hanumanasana. Ease your way back to your original modified crescent lunge, tilting your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position, lengthening with your spine towards the ceiling and trying to tap the wall behind you with your fisted hands. Last one, round out in cat as you extend the front leg out, trying to touch the wall with your toes. Then the next time you come through to your kneeling frame, keep the hands interlaced behind the back and see if you can tuck the back toe under, bringing the knee up off the floor. Push back into the back heel and really reach with your knuckles for the wall behind you. Hold that low lunge, trying to drop as low as you can through the pelvis towards the floor. Then float both of your hands overhead. Reach with your fingertips for the sky, but soften the collarbones away from the ears and maybe wriggle your fingertips if you're feeling a tingling sensation in the arms. Take a big breath in and float your hands slightly off center to the right, allowing the right fingertip to float almost to the floor and reach through both sets of hands. Come back towards the center line. Place both hands either side of the lead leg and ease your way back into child pose. Feet soft and relaxed in parallel. Take a little stretch in your extended child, almost creeping back through the hands, dropping your bum back as far towards the heels as you can comfortably manage. Ease your way through 4-point kneeling, bumping your hips softly towards the floor, strong through the core, strong through your shoulders, lengthen through your spine. See if you can lift and hover the knees off the floor, resting on the bridges of your feet and your palms. Then try to keep the weight bearing on the front of your toes as you ease your way into a down dog, piking the bum up to the ceiling, and then maybe tucking the toes under. Big breath in, we're going to thread through, maybe reaching for the ankle, bending the elbow, trying to bring your nose even closer towards your knee as you really thread through. Inhale to come back, exhale to take it to the other side. Every time trying to ground a little bit more through the feet, trying to thread through a little bit more deeply. Ease your way from here into a knee to nose plank and then kick up into a 3-legged dog, moving dynamically 5 times between the two positions. Really tucking that knee in towards your nose as you come in. Next time, step through, swinging right all the way through to the inside of the left hand. Relax your back knee, relax your back foot. Peel up, lengthen through the spine. So find that imaginary string that's pulling the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Float the hands behind you. See if you can interlace them behind your back. And then tilt the pelvis to the 12 o'clock position so that you can feel a stretch on the inside of the back hip bone. Take a big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, start rounding out into a cat stretch as you think of extending the front leg pointing the toes up to the ceiling and almost thinking knee to nose. Try to keep those hands interlaced behind your back. Ease your way back to your start position. Tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position and lengthen through your spine and tap the knuckles to the wall behind you. Exhale to round out, extending through the front leg, pointing the toes up to the ceiling. Let's do that one more time. Lengthen through the spine. Don't forget that tilt on the pelvis. Last little monkey guard. And then we're going to take it into a high lunge from here. So the next time you unbind, or you step through, take the back toes under, bring the knee up off the floor, reach through the knuckles, trying to tap the wall behind you. Then unbind the hands. Maybe start wiggling them as you float them overhead. Try to drop as low as you can through the pelvis. Keep softening through the collarbones. Take a big breath in and float both hands slightly off center to the left. Then keep dropping the left fingertips till you're just shy of the floor. Reach through the fingertips on both hands. Float both hands back down, framing the lead leg on either side, and step back into child. Feet soft and relaxed behind you, arms long and lengthened, framing your ears on either side as you gently push back. Come through your 4-point kneeling frame, giving me a kneeling up dog, strong on the shoulders, rib cage up nice and high, core braced, inner thighs committed. See if you can float those knees up off the floor. Keep the weight on the top of your toes as you pike into a down dog. Draw up along the inner thighs, pull up strongly from the pelvic floor, then tuck the feet under. Trying to ground through the whole foot. Take a big breath in, thread through, maybe holding onto the ankle and tucking really through that arm, peeping through, trying to look right up to the ceiling. Ease your way back and thread through on the other side. Try to ground through the feet so you've got energy pushing down, energy pushing up. Ease your way from here back to a kneeling frame on the mat and take your legs as wide as you can. Let's take it into a midway pegged frog. So I want you to line up your knee and the inside of your ankle bone on the corner, on the edge of both, on the edges of the mat on either side. Place your fingertips on the floor in front of you, and then gently pull your weight forward over the wrist line and softly push back into your bum bones. We're not coming into the full expression of this little frog. We're coming into a half frog today. You're gently going to push back. Keep your belly button softly pulled in and just work mindfully. Come back to your kneeling frame and focus on your right knee. Place the whole kneecap on the edge of the mat and relax the foot, or you can tuck the toe under if you prefer. Then extend your other leg. Big toe, or the side of the big toe softly connected to the mat. Hands are still underneath your shoulders. And then I'd like you to exhale and round out, coming into a cat stretch. Inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale to round up. Inhale to find your way back. Let's do 2 more. Exhale as you round up. Pausing here, feel that contraction through the core. Inhale to come back to neutral. You should be feeling a nice little stretch along the inseam of the left leg. Then tuck the toe of your back foot under and gently sit back, maybe allowing the hands to slide forward slightly and take a little stretch here, pushing off your fingertips almost as if you wanted to come up off the mat, and then pull forward again, trying to hook your chin over the edge of your mat and play dynamically between the two. Let's do 2 more. Last one. From here, you're going to ease your way into a high kneeling frame. You can relax the foot or you can keep the toe tucked under on the back leg. You're going to draw the left leg in, grounding the whole foot into the mat and lining up the foot with the knee of your right foot. We're coming into a half camel line. You're going to take the left hand, push the left knee away, and float your right hand into your lower back as you gently arch through the spine to look up in, towards the ceiling in a half camel stretch. Ease your way from here into child pose, feet soft and relaxed in parallel behind you, arms extended long and lengthened in front of you. Take a couple of breaths here, really walking back through the hands. Sink your bum bones as far back as you can, trying to tap your bum bones to your heels if you can manage it. Then come through your 4-point kneel with control. Bump your hips through the 4-point kneeling frame, strong through the shoulders, so almost pushing the mat away, and try to grow from your tailbone along the full length of your spine, trying to float your crown up to the ceiling. Keep your inner thighs switched on and keep pulling up from the pelvic floor. See if you can float the knees up off the mat. Strong in your modified up dog. Keep the weight on the top of your toes as you float your bum up to the ceiling, holding here for a second or two, conditioning the front of your toes before you tuck the feet under. Easing your way into your down dog, threading through, trying to find a grip position and really float that head through. Try to tuck the chin and wrap the chin around your armpit. Come back to your start position and thread through on the other side. Try to ground both feet into the mat if you can, so that you can really feel that stretch. Ease your way from here into a soft kneeling frame. Just begin opening up the legs. Line up the knees and the inside of the ankle bone so the toes are looking towards the side of the room. Place the hands on the mat in front of you. Big breath in, lean the weight forward over your wrists. And on an exhale, push back softly. Readjust your hand position subtly if you need to, so that you're feeling a maximum engagement of those inner thighs as you play dynamically with the movement, trying to hold for at least 5 seconds as you pull forward and think of maybe hooking your chin over the edge of your mat, and as you push back, trying to tap your bum towards the back edge of the mat. Let's do one more flow through. Then come to a neutral line and focus on your left leg. Line up the kneecap on the edge of your mat and extend the right leg out to the side of the room. Big toe connected, or side of the big toe connected to the mat. You're going to round out in cat and come back to a neutral spine position. Trying to ground through the whole foot on the right if you can. So your pinky toe is going to want to keep peeling up off the mat. Your challenge is to try and weight it down as much as you can. Last one. Tuck the back toe under and push your weight back as if you wanted to drop bum to heel. Then draw your weight forward, trying to hook your chin over the edge of your mat and play dynamically between the two. Move with care. Keep your belly button softly pulled into the center line the whole time that you're playing. So no muffin top bellies hanging on the floor. Keep pulling that belly in. Find a neutral line. Relax the back foot, peel up. Find your half camel line. Right palm on the inside of the right knee. Left hand floats into the lower back on the left. Fingertips looking up to the ceiling as you float into a soft half camel line. Then from here, you're going to ease your way into easy sit, and let's all lead with the right leg in front of the left. Tucking in the heels as close to the perineum as you can, sitting up nice and tall and just placing your hands palms down on the kneecaps. Lengthen through your spine and try to find a grounding through the mat. So ground those two bum bones into the mat, almost pushing down through your pelvis into the mat, and then trying to lengthen from your waist up towards the sky. Take a big breath in and float or swim your hands overhead, coming down in active prayer. Giving me a nice little shooting breath as you come down. Let's do that 3 more times. Big breath in. Find a rhythm of your own. Use an active breath and push with enough gentle force that you can feel the arms, chest, upper back, shoulders all connected. 1 more time. Big breath in. As you come down, stop with your hands gently in front of your heart. Begin with your chin line parallel to the floor. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, nod your chin to your chest and hold for at least 5 counts. Almost giving me a soft chin lock. Jalandhara Bandha. Then release the chin lock. Take a big breath in and twist to the right, tucking the back of your left hand to the outside of the right knee, pushing with the hand and resisting with the knee as you float the other arm behind you to the mat for support, lengthening through your spine and grounding through both of your bum bones. Ease your way back to the middle and extend the right leg out as you place the sole of the foot on the inside of the inseam of the right leg. Take a big breath in. We're going to fold forward, trying to connect to that foot. If you can't connect to the foot, maybe taking a block and placing it on the inside of the leg, finding a comfortable kneel-in position, or maybe you can use a strap, a hand towel, or a belt to loop around your foot. Give yourself at least 10 to 15 breaths here, trying to bind to that foot, and then try to soften and relax through the lower back. Make your chest heavy to the top of your thighs. Make the back of your knee heavy to the floor. Keep your belly button softly pulled in to center. Let's take 5 more gentle breaths here, and then we'll ease our way from here into a seated little figure 4. Peel up along the center line and see if you can lift the left foot up off the floor, trying to tuck the heel of the left foot to the inside of the right foot, so almost coming into a half lotus line, if you will. Sit up nice and tall, maybe brushing the hands down the top of your thighs, reaching for the foot, using your block, using your strap if you need to, trying to bind to the foot, and fold forward, feeling that heel of the left foot gently digging into the lower abdominal cavity. Great for peristalsis, giving your colon a nice little massage. Peel up along the center line. Try to keep your left foot where it is and tuck your right foot underneath your left leg, coming into the half lotus line, sitting up nice and tall and taking a big twist back of the right hand to the outside of the left knee, or you can hold on to the knee if you prefer. Try to use that hand to push the knee away and resist with the knee. Try to open up through that back shoulder and lengthen through the spine. As you come into your half lotus twist, try to notice whether one of your bum cheeks is peeled up off the mat. If it has, ground down and make sure both of your bum bones are equally weighted into the mat. Ease your way back to the midline. Uncross your legs and come into a soft butterfly line, bringing the soles of the feet together, maybe holding onto the toes or the ankles if you prefer, and then gently butt creep towards your feet. Try to hug the heels in as close to your perineum as you can. Drop the knees heavy to the mat. Hold on to your feet and lengthen your spine up to the ceiling. So you're pushing down from the pelvis into the mat and you're lengthening from your hip bones towards the sky. Then tuck into easy sit, Sukhasana, this time leading with the left leg in front. Find your position on the mat. Sit up nice and tall, hands in prayer in front of your heart. Ground through your bum bones, lengthen through your spine. Take a big breath in and float the hands overhead, coming down in active prayer. Using a nice little shooting breath. Let's do that 3 more times. Big breath in. Fill your lungs to capacity. And then softly hiss that breath out, shoot it out so that you sound almost like steam escaping from a kettle. One last one. Big breath in. Stopping with those hands in front of your heart and your chin line parallel to the floor. Active hands. Take a big breath in. And on an exhale, nod your chin to your chest, giving me a little chin lock and holding for at least 5. Then release the chin lock and twist to the left, tucking the back of the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Push with the back of the hand against the knee and resist. Make sure your bum bones are pushing down heavily into the mat and that you're lengthening from your hip bones towards the sky. Ease your way back to the midline. Extend the left leg out long and lengthen and place the sole of the right foot on the inseam of the left leg. Modified Yoga Sukhasana, head to knee, big breath in. Using your block, your strap, or your hand towel if making a connection to the feet is not an option, so just play where you're comfortable. Heel back up along the center line and try to tuck into the half lotus line, bringing the right heel to the inside of the left hip bone, trying to tuck up as high as you can, maybe just softly staying here and pushing the knee away if reaching for the extended leg is not an option. So just find a play option that works for you, maybe just gently pushing down. Try to hold your bind for at least 10 seconds if you can, and shoot for that nice little massage into the lower abdominal cavity. Try to tuck from here into a half lotus line, bringing that extended leg in, tucking it underneath your already bent right leg. Slip into your half lotus line, take a big breath in and rotate to the right, tucking the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Ground both of your bum bones into the mat, so push down from the pelvis into the mat and then lengthen from your hip bones towards the sky. Ease your way from here back towards the midline, uncross your legs and float into a soft butterfly line, bringing the soles of your feet together, binding around the toes or maybe the ankles. Creep your bum closer towards your foot line and then think of just gently hugging those heels in towards your bum, dropping the knees away from you, lengthening through your spine, maybe closing the eyes and taking your focus in. Heavy down from the pelvis into the mat, and then light from the hip bones up towards the sky. Keeping your eyes closed and your focus in. Float your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Take your focus in and end off your practice. You are strong, you are confident, you can rely on yourself. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's class. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Remember to shoot me your comments and your feedback and to subscribe with your notification bell on. I shall see you all for Pilates conditioning on the mat tomorrow. Till then, keep it light.